So let's head off the coast of Sardinia, a place where the sea seems to whisper these ancient secrets. An incredible discovery has been made there, one that actually connects sunken ruins, local legends, and the stars themselves. We're about to explore a vault that was sealed by time and what it tells us about a civilization that lived by a completely different rhythm than we do.
A civilization swallowed by the waves. I mean, just listen to that phrase. It's really the heart of this whole mystery. It hints at a people whose world wasn't just near the ocean, but was deeply, profoundly intertwined with it, maybe even too deeply. All right, so where do we even begin to unravel something like this? Well, we start exactly where the archaeologists did, at a place they call Sardinia's Silent Vault, a site that was quite literally sealed shut by time itself. Okay, try to picture this. Archaeologists finally break into a coastal chamber that's been sealed off from the world for who knows how long, millennia. And inside, they don't find gold or weapons. No, they find a single object, a stone ledger. But the markings on it, that's the real treasure. It's this complex, almost otherworldly map of tides and stars. But you know, that stone ledger isn't the only piece of the puzzle here. For centuries, long before that cave was ever opened, there have been these whispers on the coast. Local stories where folklore and the sea basically become the same thing. So, for generations, local storytellers have talked about these strange, fog-shrouded nights when the air itself seems to tremble. They swear that the coastal rocks hum with some kind of ancient memory. And get this, they say that ships here don't get lost to storms, they get pulled under by the moon. So you have to wonder, right? Was this all just superstition, or were they actually remembering something real? And this is where the mystery just absolutely ignites. Because what scientists found next seems to prove that the folklore wasn't just folklore after all. They discovered that this entire ancient site was built to work as a kind of celestial clock, telling time using nothing but the moon and the stars. Yeah, the stonework in and around that cave revealed something totally remarkable. It was built with perfect lunar alignment. So what does that mean? It means these huge structures were deliberately, carefully oriented to match the cycles of the moon. You know, its rising, its setting, its phases. This is no accident. It's the work of a culture with a really deep, sophisticated understanding of the cosmos. And this changes everything. It suggests we're looking at a people who didn't live by calendars or clocks like we do. Their entire lives were guided by these huge, sweeping rhythms of the cosmos itself, the turning of the stars, the pull of the tides. I mean, just imagine a society whose whole worldview was shaped not by some human invention, but by a constant, intimate connection to the natural world around them. Just look at the difference here when you put them side by side. Their celestial time was fluid. It was cyclical. It was natural. Our modern time, it's rigid, it's linear, it's abstract. This means they didn't just measure time differently than we do. They must have felt it in a way that we can barely even imagine. But believe it or not, this cosmic understanding is really just the backdrop for a much more human story. And it's a story that was etched right into the walls of the cave itself. It's the story of a severed pact, told in ancient, faded glyphs. So from these faint glyphs on the chamber walls, researchers have pieced together this incredibly dramatic story in 3 acts. It starts with a sacred ritual, some kind of pact that's made between the people of the land and the powers of the sea. But then, disaster strikes, a sudden, devastating flood. And in the aftermath of that catastrophe, that sacred pact is broken, severed, forever. Okay, so now all the pieces are starting to connect, right? The star-etched ledger, those strange stories of the moon's pull, the lunar alignments, and now this story of a great flood. They all seem to point to one final kind of haunting idea, the drowned city's breath. And here's the connection that really ties it all together. The story told in those ancient glyphs, you know, the pact and the flood, it isn't separate from the ledger. Researchers now believe the complex markings of tides and stars on that artifact are directly connected to this event. That ledger, it's not just some astronomical chart. They think it's a record of the pact itself. So, this is where it all leads. The folklore, the science, the story, it all comes down to this one single question. After all this time, what is going to happen when that ledger is finally, completely deciphered? the local whispers and the ancient sources give the same chilling, incredible answer. Decipher the ledger, and they will hear the drowned city breathe again. Now, what does that even mean? A sound? A memory? That is the question that just hangs in the air, a final echo from a silent vault.